We made a 3D rolls using the Spherical Coordinates System, and I was supposed to make the part 2 which gives the rolls this beautiful skin and slider controls. But I realized that in the part 1 I didn't include how to make other types of double flowers just like the one I showed you in the intro. So now we're gonna partially modify the equations in the last video and achieve several other types of flowers. It's very exciting. So this is the code of these 3D rolls we implemented. Now I make it into a function like this, then copy, name it Zinnia, and lastly call the new function into the draw function. Each term of the set of the equations shapes a particular part of the rows, and this one line of code is responsible for the shape of each individual petal. And I want to take a look at this coefficient 3.6. Do you remember what this value does? This value determines the number and alignment of the petals. When we continuously change this value, yeah, we see this crazy movement. Alright, for now I set it like 10.4. Okay, let's reload it. Alright, now the number of the petals has been increased and each petal is much more thinner like the Zinnia. Next, I changed this value from 8 to 16. Let's reload it. Oh, the top side has gone. Okay, this value is responsible for how much the layers of the petals are dense vertically. The number is bigger, we have more layers of the petals in certain range of the angle. I just doubled this value, but the theta range hasn't changed, right? So now the flower lacks the upper side, here. So if I double up this theta range to something like 30 pi, yeah, we see this top side again, but the density has been doubled. Alright, now we want to look at the petal diameter. In the reference, more go up to the top, the diameter of the petal are smaller, right? So how can we achieve that in the code? Well, I want to use this variable theta. The theta is range of the horizontal angle. So when I change this range limit to 1 pi, yeah, we only see the part fit in the range of 180 degrees, right? What about 2 pi? That's 360 degrees. 4 pi, that's 720. You got the idea, right? That means at each petal, the theta value is a little bit different. So we can use that for the gradual change of the diameter from the top to the bottom. Alright, so now let's add the theta into the 3 parametric equations. So what about theta divided by 2000? Apparently it affects oppositely. Now the top petals are longest. So in case we want to flip the way of the value affecting, we just need to subtract the term from 1. Alright. We see the beautiful spiral shape. So it's too flat, so I make this term more smaller, like 5000, 6000, okay, 6500. Maybe. And I want to lift the petals up a little bit, so I change this value to 1.3 and this value to be 1.25. Okay. Alright. And I also want to change the shape of the petal a little bit, so I change this to 8. No, 12. Okay, now the petal has become more rounded shape. And lastly, yeah, let's change the color. I want something like saturated pinkish color. Alright, now we have the Zinnia here. Next up, we make this flower Camellia. Camellia have this kind of sharp petal, the rounded cone shape, right? So to achieve this shape, we replace this petal cut with whole different equation. So before I implement, let's simulate the equation on Desmos. This is a normal sine wave. When we multiply this angle by a coefficient, the frequency changes, right? And also when we divide by some amount, like this, 3, yeah, we can adjust the amplitude. And furthermore, if we add 2 sine waves which have different frequencies, yeah, we got some complex figure like this. And now we think about another function called arcsine. The arcsine is inverse of sine function. And I won't explain the detail here, but you can have a sense if you overlap the two, like this. Yeah, that's actually the inverted, right? And the thing is, if we put sine wave inside the arc sine, like this, we get this edgy linear graph, as if the two waves cancel the curve shape each other. Then what if I add a sine wave after this arc sine? Yeah, this graph shows up, because I just added a curve shape of the sine wave to the linear shape. Okay, now I want to follow this lower side of the y-axis to bring this up to the positive side. So let's take an absolute of whole this term. Alright. When I add a coefficient bigger than 1 here, the length of the petal increases, right? And if I divide the whole term by a value, like this, the petal becomes shorter again. But you notice the whole shape has become more rounded. Because we multiplied the sine wave here, so the curve shape has been emphasized. So if you want to make the tip a bit more sharper, you can multiply the arc sine, then divide by a bit bigger number. Alright, finally, let's implement that in the code. So I copy the function Zinnia, then rename it Camellia. I call this function at the draw function. So now I replace this petal cut with the new equation we just figured out. Okay, that became crazy. Let's divide by 100. Oh, I need to multiply the frequencies. I divide by 2.75 for now. Okay. But the petals are too sharp than the reference, so let's multiply this sine function to make it more rounded shape. Then divide by a bigger number, like 480. I want to add 0.75 to expand the diameter. Okay. And I also expand the range to from 0 to 20 pi. Okay, and I want the whole shape more lifted up, so I change this to 2.5. Okay, maybe I want a more flat shape, so I change this to 6000. And in the reference, the tip of the petals aren't hanging down like this. That looks more flat, right? So I change this to 1.4 and also this to 1.0. Okay, then lastly change the color. I set the saturation much lower. Yeah, now we have the Camellia. So what do you think? That looks pretty gross, isn't it? Alright, now let's modify this Camellia a little bit to make this Lotus. So I copy the function Camellia to make the function Lotus. Alright, so Lotus doesn't have so much petals, so I change the theta range to 8 pi. Okay, the number has been decreased. And I also changed these coefficient to 2.25. And now I want to have more longer petals, so I also change this to 120, this value to 360. Okay. Then I also change this to 0.5. The Lotus is much more thick vertically, so I wanna change this 6000 to 10,000. Okay, and I also change this 16 to 6.5. And lastly, I want to lift the petals up a little bit, so I change this 1.4 to 2.3, and this 1.0 to 0.8. Then let's change the color. Here's our Lotus. Alright, moving into the next flower is this Dahlia. I personally like this complexity. So I already copied a function, name it Dahlia. So Dahlia got a lot of petals, so I upped the range limit to 30 pi. Let's reload it. Okay, and instead I make the density a bit lower. Alright, to get close to the outline of the reference, I change this value to 1.75. Also this to 11. Okay. Oh, I also want to change this to 20,000. I want to have more small petals, so I change these two frequencies to 4.75. Okay, I also change these two to 420 and this value to 2000. Alright. Oh, maybe I have a 0.6 for this. And maybe I want to change this value to 0.9. Lastly, change the color as much as close to the reference. Okay, so this is Dahlia. So at this point, you may realize that you can make any kind of crazy looking flower depending on the petal equation. So I encourage you to play around the math and find your favorite double flowers. So see you in the next video.